Adrian, what do you think of Harry Potter this week? Is it good for you this week?
Sucked. It was awful. It was terrible. It was boring. I don't know what you want to hear. But I did learn something. Check this out. Ridiculous.
Adrian, what the hell was that? No, that's unnecessary.
Get away. Go away.
Piss on you.
Hey, Claude. Ridiculous.
Adrian, no! What the hell are you doing?
Go away. You smell like a woman.
I hate you so much sometimes.
Hey. Hold on. Ridiculous.
What the fuck is this, Adrian? You have severe problems. You need help, sir. You need help. No, Adrian, no. Maybe it's your turn to get a little bit of this.
What do you mean?
Ridiculous.
Well, what did you expect was going to happen? Welcome to Short Cover Lit. I'm Adrian Fort.
And I'm Dalton Gentry.
And we're here with this week's edition of
Harry Potter. Adrian reads Harry Potter. And you're excited.
No, I'm not.
You're pumped.
I'm fairly positive that I figured out this episode of Scooby-Doo.
Okay. I'm proud of you.
You want to do the chapter rundown?
This is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, chapters 10 through 12. So, we have chapter 10. This is the Marauders Map. Lupin is going to teach Harry Potter how to defend himself against Dementors, and we find out more about Dementors, which are very interesting creatures. I think that's a great talking point. We get the Marauders Map, which shows Harry Potter how to sneak into Hogsmeade and basically do anything he wants within the castle. And we find out that Sirius Black is Harry Potter's godfather. How interesting. What a turn of events. Chapter 11, the Firebolt. Buckbeak is going to be disposed of by the government. Harry Potter receives a firebolt for Christmas from an unknown source to replace his Nimbus 2000, and McGonagall takes the broom from him because it could be cursed. Safety precautions. Because if you receive expensive gifts in the mail, it's probably a bad thing. Chapter 12 is the Patronus. We learn about the Patronus Charm, so more about Dementors. We learn how to defend against them. Lupin knew Sirius Black because Lupin knew James Potter. So somehow these people all went to school together, so they know each other. We learn about the Dementor's kiss, and Crookshanks attempts to eat Scabbers. Succeeds in eating Scabbers. Scabbers is missing, and Crookshanks is the suspect.
Yes.
So
Sirius Black is either the cat or Lupin.
Okay.
And also, Sirius Black was framed.
He was framed. Okay.
Okay, so let me get this story on 207 and 208. Where are we at here? Where Pettigrew, this gentleman Pettigrew is an unsung hero. Let me see. Where is this quote? Talk about something for a minute.
Oh, me? Talk about
yes.
something? Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about the other person in the room. Let's see here. Dementors. We need to talk in extent.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. I hate you so much.
Maddened by grief, no doubt, and knowing that Black had been Potter's secret keeper, he went after Black himself. Pettigrew? That fat little boy who was always tagging around them at Hogwarts, said Madame Rosmerda. That's how I know that Pettigrew is a bad guy.
Okay.
Because he's fat.
Okay. J.K. Rowling,
J.K. Rowling hates fat people.
As the comments did say, #justice for Dudley.
So Pettigrew is set up as this charming young fat boy who chased after Sirius Black. There was a giant explosion.
Okay.
With Sirius Black killing people. Pettigrew was killed trying to do the noble thing and stop the man. Right?
All right.
Was not the case. I'm guaranteeing it.
Okay.
I am guaranteeing that Sirius Black is in the castle already as either Lupin or the cat. He is standing guard. That's where this new broom came from. the painting caught on to him. That's why he had to mess him up. He's there to protect him from Voldemort because he's his godfather. This Pettigrew kid was probably trying to get on Voldemort's good side. Sirius Black had to stop him. Perhaps Voldemort was by that time leeched on to this Pettigrew kid.
Okay.
But I know because Pettigrew is overweight that he's a bad guy.
Fat shaming in Harry
Yes.
Potter.
So I'm done. I am gloating. I am finished. I figured out this episode of Scooby-Doo.
Okay. There's more to it.
Don't tell me I've won, Dalton. I've got the rest of the book to read. I don't need that incentive not to read it.
Oh, no. I mean, you've got plenty. There's still plenty of surprises coming. But, ladies and gentlemen, Adrian Fort has just summed up Harry Potter halfway through the novel.
Fat people are the bad guys.
Fat people are the bad guys.
So I want you all to write a letter to your congressman that we should ban Harry Potter for fat shaming. Because, let me ask this. Is this Pettigrew that I am guaranteeing is the bad guy? I know that this is false. Is this the last fat bad guy that we have in Harry Potter?
Yes.
Don't lie to me. Is this the last fat bad guy we have in Harry Potter?
We will see, because we're continuing this series through the next 4 books.
You can tell me that much. There will be... I'm not asking if fat people are exclusively bad guys. I'm asking if there are more bad guys, more contemptible characters who are overweight.
Yes.
Write to your local congressman. Let's ban Harry Potter for fat shaming. If these things are in the text, don't yell at me about them. If these things are indelibly in the books, I want credit for bringing them up. Just because you've worshipped these things your entire life does not mean that I am wrong when I point out something like that in here.
Do you feel better?
A little bit.
I'm glad.
I am not. You've told me about the heat that I take in the comment sections for things. The heat that I take in comment sections for things that are in these books. If you're going to point them out in one, point them out in all. I don't care that you worship them as children. I'm grandstanding.
You good?
Okay, let's carry on.
You want to talk about Dementors?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about that?
I want to know where Dementors came from.
Okay.
I want to know what, how do these creatures spawn?
How do they come to existence?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they people who have died? Are they witches or wizards who have passed a brutal death?
Okay.
I want to know about that.
Now, I did get into a little bit of trouble for not mentioning this. Apparently, J.K. Rowling's idea of Dementors came from when she was battling a spat of depression.
Okay.
So the idea of basically, sucking your soul away and how you can still exist without a soul through the Dementor's kiss, but it's a horrible and awful existence.
Yes.
As a vehicle to describe depression to a child, I think that works. It's well done.
Yeah, that's very well done. What was the end of the last book?
The end of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
Yes.
They defeated Voldemort via Tom Riddle in the chamber.
And then I'm just wondering if there's any reason that the Dementors would spawn in this book. They were mentioned in the last one though, weren't they?
Dementors, I think they may have been mentioned. From a historical standpoint, I believe it was this book. J.K. Rowling's mother was battling multiple sclerosis, and I believe she took a turn for the worst during the writing of this, which sent old Joe into a bit of depression.
Okay.
And that is how she coped with that, is creating these to be her vehicle. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but I know I'm supposed to bring that up. So shame on me for not saying it earlier.
Okay, that's interesting though.
Okay.
It's interesting that this is a case where we see an author's real life bleed into the work.
Yes.
Right.
It does bleed into the work, and I've said many times before, this is the first novel where we start dealing with some more adult topics. This is the first novel where Harry Potter is going to suffer. And it builds up until the Battle of Hogwarts in the last chapter, where it's George R.R. Martin writing Harry Potter. He's just killing everyone. So this is our first taste of that, and I think it's a good taste. I think it works, and I'm glad we got it.
Yes. There is another turn for Harry Potter towards the mopey.
Okay.
Right? After hearing the story of his parents' demise, he gets a little depressed again.
Yes.
Right? Thing is, that's not new to this book. There's something in each of these books so far that he's found out that have made him... Right?
There's little tidbits that Harry Potter has found out that they sting, and yeah, they may be hurtful, and they may get him down a little bit. But now he is, especially through the lessons with Lupin, having to relive his parents' murder day in and day out. So that's dark.
Do you think that is, again, J.K. Rowling's life coming into play?
Could be. I mean, she could be reliving the death of her mother, or the impending death. I'm not sure of the timeline of this.
Well, I mean,
day by day.
If you're by this time, J.K. Rowling was an author. I'm taking it.
Yes.
This was her full time.
Yes.
So she had all of the time that she wanted to go and spend with Mother, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming that when you are pursuing a relationship with your parent so vigorously because you don't know how long they're going to be there, each time you see them, that is replaying that emotion a little bit.
Absolutely. On a personal note, dealing with my mother has multiple sclerosis. Going through that right now, that fucking sucks. So, yeah.
Time and again?
Yeah. Okay. So, good point. Let's talk about the Patronus Charm. Any thoughts about that, how that works? The one thing that it doesn't defeat a Dementor, there's no defeat of the Dementor, it just gets rid of them for a moment. So I think that's absolutely beautifully played, especially if you're looking at Dementors in depression, because that's not something you just shake and get rid of.
Right.
It's always looming, it's always there.
Sometimes you can act as if it is not.
But you can combat it.
Right.
And you can make it go away for a time.
But you know it's coming back.
You know it's coming back.
And that is an interesting trope for me, because I wonder if this is something that she is playing with in that manner so far as... I don't know anything else about the Harry Potter universe.
Okay.
So I don't know if this is like shingles, right? Once you have experience with the Dementors, you are more apt to see them again, right?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
No, Dementors are creatures, and again, they're used to guard Azkaban, things like that. But the way it's described is Harry Potter is more susceptible to their power because unlike all the other 12 and 13-year-olds, he's dealt with some serious shit.
Here's another thing. Here's the reason that Sirius Black was able to escape Azkaban.
Okay.
Because he was set up.
Okay.
He has no guilt on his soul.
You think so?
I think so.
So he has no dark past.
He might have a dark
pain.
past, but he does not feel guilty about it. And I think that's a very big thing.
Okay.
I think that, especially if these things are used to reflect depression about things is worse when you feel guilt. Now, here's the thing. The way depression works is that it is not, I broke up with my fiance, I am depressed. That's not depression. Depression is, it's Tuesday, so you're depressed, right? You have no say over when it comes, and neither does anyone else.
Yes.
So,
you are going to be anxious about every little thing that happens. You are going to be paranoid to say any little thing because you're afraid of the stigma that's going to be held against it.
But even then, there are oftentimes, people who are depressed are not just depressed. They will go through manic phases.
High and low.
Right. So this Sirius Black, he is Harry Potter's godfather.
Okay.
He knows that it is his life. Godfather, what does that mean? God forbidding something happen, you're the man.
Yep.
Right. So he knows at some point this Voldemort cat's going to come back. So the entire time he's in Azkaban, he's manic, not depressive. I got to be ready.
He's on top
of
things.
Things are going to happen. Yeah.
Well, just to fuel your argument, being manic like that for that extended period of time, that's just as bad.
Yeah.
Just as bad to be going on that 3-day high where everything's just great and dandy.
Because you forget to sleep, you forget to eat.
That's still going to hurt. So Sirius Black is innocent in Adrian's opinion. Marauders Map. Any thoughts about that? A great gift from Fred and George Weasley. Seems to be an insane artifact that should just not be passed around by students. Thoughts?
Yeah, I just wonder. I wonder, A, if this has a deeper history in Harry Potter. I wonder if this is going to pop up again.
Okay.
I wonder if this was from the generation of Sirius Black and Lupin and James Potter.
Okay.
I wonder how it fell into the Weasleys' hands.
Okay. Now,
It is interesting.
Little side note. I touched on this last week, and I wanted to talk about it so bad, but I'm like, shit, he hadn't got there yet. Sex in Harry Potter. We talked about that in some previous books. Never really addressed. Good old Hollywood, in the film version of Prisoner of Azkaban, the credit scenes, the Marauders Map is showing. So you see little footsteps with names walking across. There are 2 stationary footsteps. I think it's like in a bathroom or a closet or something.
Really?
They're having sex.
It's one right
It's as clear as that. Right behind. So
Who are the names, do you
I don't know. I don't know if there are names. I don't know if it's visible, but they're there, and that's happening. So there is sex in Harry Potter. It finally happened. We've made it. 3 books in. So I think we touched on really the big things here. Buckbeak. How do you feel about Buckbeak being slaughtered, essentially, because he attacked Malfoy, and Malfoy's basically milking it?
Well, I mean, when you drop that baby into the ape's pen.
Ooh.
Right.
You and your current events.
Steve got on us about that. Don't you remember that?
He did.
Yeah.
He did. So we'll see what comes of that. We'll see where the firebolt came from.
When you were a kid, did you say Voldemort, or did you say he who will not be named?
Voldemort.
Did you really?
Yeah, no one said he should not be
Okay,
named.
so you were not in the world of Harry Potter. It was just entertainment for you.
Yeah, nobody said that.
Okay.
I mean, in my upbringing with Harry Potter, nobody said that. It was just Voldemort.
Do you promise?
Yes.
Look me in the eyes.
Yes.
Tell me.
I never said he who shall not be
How
named.
come you can't look me in the eyes and say it?
I never said he who shall not be named.
Okay, how come you can't say it naturally?
Voldemort. Thank you for that. I don't really know if I have much more to touch on here. These were not really heavy-hitting 3 chapters. I mean, we had some important elements going on here, but nothing that is just going to be like, oh my god, we have to talk about it.
I'm continuing to make Snape out to be a hero.
Snape's the good guy?
Snape's the good guy.
Okay. All right.
He's a tough love type.
Okay.
But, yeah, he's worried about Lupin, I think. Did Snape go to school with James Potter?
It's assumed. They're roughly the
they're
same
roughly
age.
the same age, I think. He seems to know Lupin, right?
Yes, he does.
So I'm assuming that they all went to school together, and that Snape was just a Slytherin, whereas Potter was a Gryffindor?
Of course Potter was a Gryffindor.
Okay. So one thing we still haven't seen is much from the Hufflepuff or the... Boy, I don't even know the other house's name.
That's my house. That's Ravenclaw.
Ravenclaw.
You don't really see much of them.
Through the entire series?
Through the entire series.
Okay, so why are they a thing? Why don't you exploit that? Are there... Okay, so if Slytherin is just this bad guy factory, why don't you just nuke the house?
Here's the best way I've ever had it summed up to me. Gryffindors are the good guys.
Yeah.
Slytherins are the bad guys.
Right.
Ravenclaws are the smart kids and the hipsters. Hufflepuffs are the stoners.
So nobody adds anything good except for Gryffindor.
Not really.
So as soon as these kids go through the sorting hat, and they figure out they're Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw or Gryffindor or Slytherin, why don't you just give them an injection and put them down?
Shit. Here's the thing, though. Cedric Diggory, we saw him last week.
Yes.
He's going to play a major part in the next book. He is a Hufflepuff.
The Hufflepuffs are the smart kids?
No, they're the stoners.
They're the stoners.
Yeah, they're just kind of there.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get hate mail for calling the Hufflepuff stoners, because there's going to be somebody out there who's like, I'm a Hufflepuff. Well, excuse me.
I've never smoked weed in my life.
There are some elements that have important roles. We'll get a little more backstory with a couple of the founders of the houses, obviously. But as for major characters, most of them gravitate towards Slytherin or Gryffindor.
I wonder if good old J.K. Rowling, continuing this Harry Potter universe, will exploit that.
Now, here's the thing. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them takes place in the Americas.
Okay.
Through her website Pottermore, which is basically, I don't want to write any more of these books, but I want the money. She has said, there are more wizarding schools. There are more. In the next book, we're going to meet 2 other wizarding schools. So Hogwarts is not it. But there's wizarding schools everywhere. There's one in the Americas, and they have different houses within those schools. So there's more to it. We just get a glimpse into this. So it would make sense if your central character was a Gryffindor, and they are they're rivals with Slytherin, that the central story would take place between those two.
Right, but you've got... I don't know. I think that if you're talking commercially, you have so much to exploit there.
Oh, yeah. And they do. I mean, you can get Ravenclaw socks.
Yeah, but why when none of the characters are from that house? Here's something I have a question about. Page 187 into 188. Lupin made a sudden motion with his arm as though to grip Harry Potter's shoulder, but thought better of it. There was a moment of silence, and then... thought better of it.
Student-teacher relationship.
That's not out of the realm of normal.
Okay.
Is it?
Not really.
There's no Lolita stuff going on here.
There's no Lolita
There's no Miss
stuff.
Laura going on.
Oh, my.
Hey, bud.
Okay.
You know what, bud? So I wonder if there's something else at play there that you're lying to me about student-teacher relationships.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe we will see. God, there are so many things, especially towards the end of these novels when we start getting more in-depth on characters,
Yeah?
that are just going to slap you in the face. I'm so excited about it.
Because I didn't catch it?
Didn't catch it, didn't expect it. Just finding out stuff that you could have never fathomed because, it didn't make sense. There's a lot going on.
Really?
There's a lot going on. So you're going to get some of that this book. You certainly are.
Okay.
So we're going to get there, and we're going to find out more, and hopefully it's going to be better for you. I'm excited for you to finish this one. There's still a major, major element of this story that you have not once mentioned.
I'm assuming it has to do with Lupin.
And it when I reread it, it smacked me in the face.
Really?
So fucking hard.
Is it the fact that Lupin looks a lot older than he is?
Not really.
Not really?
You'll figure it. You'll get there. So
That's one thing I don't understand. Lupin apparently looks 80 years old.
he usually looks disheveled
But he's got gray hair.
and sickly.
Yeah.
And stressed.
Yeah.
He's dealing with a lot.
I wonder if he's Harry Potter from the future.
Ooh. So if you want to figure out how Adrian's going to get through this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let us know again in the comments down below what you think about this. If I missed anything, again, please chastise me. Adrian doesn't read the comments on these videos. I keep that for myself so I don't spoil anything for him.
And make sure that you yell at Dalton for all the sexism and fat shaming that you want.
Absolutely. That's just what I want in my life.